And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Tuesday starts off with a lot of IFR here in the interior, right up into the western and northern Alaska range. To the southeast, VFR here, Susitna Valley, Kenai Peninsula into the Gulf. Some marginal VFR sliding into Chillicothe Strait area, and most of the central eastern Aleutians. IFR, southeast coast stays VFR. And for the afternoon, this area up here to the north really improves. You can see IFR to VFR, still some marginal VFR for the eastern Arctic coast, and IFR hanging on the Alaska range here, and still a big area of IFR over the eastern Bering Sea, right in across the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta and up the river there, quite a ways actually, and then back out to St. Lawrence Island, southward into Bristol Bay, and most of the Aleutians there. As you can see, the southeast coast, North Gulf Coast stays VFR, as well as Cook Inlet in the Kenai Peninsula area, Kodiak Island as well. And for the morning, IFR pushes a little farther to the east, but still getting hung up in the Alaska range here, and some could get down into maybe the extreme northern Susitna Valley, more likely marginal VFR there. But as you can see, IFR all the way up to the Brooks Range, on out across the Seward Peninsula and the northwest coast, Kotzebue Sound area. Some IFR, western Arctic coast, improving as you head east. And from Adak eastward into the Alaska Peninsula, IFR farther to the west and north, breaking out to VFR. And once again, North Gulf Coast and the Panhandle stay VFR. That holds right through Wednesday as well here in the south. Still some IFR along the Alaska Range in the afternoon Wednesday, up over the White Mountains, north of Fairbanks, and quite an area here from the northern Koyukuk Valley, right across the Kobuk Valley, on up into the Brooks Range, western Brooks Range, and western North Slope. Marginal VFR St. Lawrence Island, big improvement over the Bering Sea here, a lot of VFR breaking out, Adak and Atka, on up toward the Pribilofs, southwest coast here. IFR farther to the south there, with that frontal boundary holding there for the eastern Aleutians into the Alaska Peninsula. And for passes, Anatuvik and Adigan, as we saw on the flying weather graphic for tomorrow, big improvement from morning to afternoon, IFR to VFR for both Anatuvik and Adigan. Tomorrow, Lake Clark and Merrill, pretty much IFR the entire day, and same forecast for rainy, windy. Isabel, IFR will bring it up to marginal for Mentasta, and then VFR for Tanita, VFR for Portage as well, and Chilkoot and White, another 1 or 2 more days of VFR flying in those passes. And for the freezing levels here, 2,000 feet, North Gulf Coast on down toward Dixon Entrance, and high pressure sliding eastward, southeastward here. And so cooler air coming in from the north and northwest to a certain extent there, but still 8,000 feet here right across the eastern Aleutians up to southern Kodiak Island, 2,000 feet there up into the Yukon Delta and eastward there through the Susitna Valley. Icing here, frontal boundary, anywhere along there, the front out here, look for considerable moderate rime icing, lower Yukon River Valley, the deltas, on down across the Bering Sea into the central Aleutian areas. And from there, taking a look at the 33,000 foot wind flow chart, this high ridge, again, collapsing under this strong jet from the southwest, 115 to 125 knots, turned west-northwest into the interior, diminishing to about 95 knots there over the North Gulf Coast or Prince William Sound area. And for 9,000 feet, again, higher pressure south of the Alaska Peninsula, flow coming up and over the top of that ridge, farther south now, with 55 to 60 knot winds blowing across the southwest interior there, and 40 knots all the way up to the Arctic coast areas, and pretty light still for the southeast coast. 3,000 foot winds showing westerlies 35 to 40 knots along the Arctic coast. 45 knot westerlies here across the Bering Sea right into the Yukon Delta there. Northwest 40, couple of bands here, one coming out of Kamishak Bay. Barren Islands, another one there over Kodiak Island. And from there, taking a look at turbulence. An area of considerable moderate turbulence possible here. Kodiak Island, Bristol Bay, up along the western Alaska Range, Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta area into the southern Kuskokwim Valley, anywhere from the surface of 6,000 feet And then look for some areas of light to isolated moderate turbulence there, especially for small aircraft for the Arctic coast and portions of the northern North Slope.